Hello all, this is Mr. G. In this video, we're going to cover how to find the intersection of two functions using a TI-84. This is actually a pretty simple process once you practice it a few times. Let's start by finding the intersection of y equals x squared and y equals x plus 3. We hit y equals, enter our two functions, and press graph to see, well, a graph. Right away, we should notice that our functions have 2 points of intersection, here and here. We could use the picture to try and estimate the intersection points. This one looks like it might have an x value of -1.5 and a y value of about 2 maybe, but there's a much better way to do this. Hitting second calc opens the calculate menu, and the fifth option is intersect. This tool will give us a much more exact answer for where our functions cross one another. There are 2 ways to open the intersect tool. We can either go down to intersect and hit enter, or we can just hit 5 since it's the 5th option. Now we're back on the graph, but 2 things are different. We see a cursor on the function y equals x squared, and we see the question first curve in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Let's talk about the cursor first. This cursor is a way for us to tell the calculator where to look for the intersection. The TI-84 is very good at finding intersections, but it's up to us to point it in the right direction. Moving this cursor works exactly like the trace button. We can move along a function by hitting left or right, and we can switch to another function by hitting up or down. Let's find the intersection point that's on the left side of our graph. First, we need to move our cursor close to that point. Don't worry about trying to get the cursor exactly on the intersection point. It's not going to happen. Getting close is good enough. Now we have to worry about that question, first curve, the calculator is asking us. The TI-84 is basically saying, okay, I'll find where 2 functions are crossing, but you have to tell me which 2 functions you're talking about. Since we only have 2 functions on the graph, this part's going to be real easy. We hit enter, and the question changes to second curve, but since we only have 2 functions, we hit enter again. Now it wants us to guess for some reason, but we already got our cursor as close as we can, so we just hit enter one more time. And there's our intersection. Our 2 functions intersect at approximately -1.30, 1.70. And all we had to do was second calc, intersect, move the cursor close to the intersection, and hit enter 3 times. You'll know you're done when the calculator says intersection on the lower left corner of the screen. Finding an intersection can be a little trickier if you have more than 2 functions on your graph, but we can talk about that in another video. Now let's find that second intersection point. Second calc, intersect, move close to the intersection point on the right, and then hit enter, enter, enter to get our answer of 2.30, 5.30. But what happens if we can't see the intersection on our calculator's window? To answer that question, we'll need 2 new functions. Let's make our first function f of x equals -1/4x plus 8, and the second function g of x equals 1/2 x minus 7. We open the y equals menu, clear out the old functions, and enter the new ones. Don't let the f of x and g of x throw you off. Remember, they can be treated just like y1 and y2. Hitting the graph button gives us a look at our 2 functions, and we can see 2 lines that will eventually intersect, but we can't see that point on our screen. Our window is too small. There's a couple different ways to deal with this. We could go straight to the intersect tool, second calc intersect, and then just hold down the right button to move our cursor until eventually it gets to the end of the screen and the calculator window has to shift to keep up. At some point the intersection will be on our screen, but this method just takes too long for me. The fastest way to see the intersection in our window is to zoom out. Hit zoom, go to zoom out and hit enter, then hit enter one more time to zoom out around the origin. Now we can see the intersection on our window, so we can use the intersect tool. Second, calc, intersect, move over to where the functions cross, enter, enter, enter. And we can see that f of x and g of x intersect at the point 23. That covers the basics of using the intersection tool in a TI-84. This skill has a lot of different applications, and just like anything, the more you practice it, the easier it gets. I hope this all made sense. If you have any questions, remember to put them down in the comments below, and until next time, enjoy the rest of your day.